Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the TaiPhoon podcast. We are joined by our lovely hosts, Ben, Jacinda, me, and James.
Shout out, James.
Hello, guys. So this is our last episode of the season, and we're going to end it with a bit of a bang. So in today's pod, we're going to talk about love and relationships, and I'm a little excited. So, my first question that I'm posing to the table is, how is love defined in your culture? And also, do you think that love where you come from is prioritized more in a romantic sense than familial? Or do you think family bonds are stronger and prioritized rather than a romantic interest? Let's start with the first question. What do you think love means in your culture or in your family, or how is that expressed? Who'd like to start?
I think it always starts with romantic, right? And then I think family, as you grow older, you start to realize that that's really important. In the beginning, maybe it's quite kind of maybe, I don't know. Maybe when you're
Juvenile?
younger, when you're young, love is always juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But then the older you get, the more type of expectations and things that you are kind of looking in someone, you start to realize what you kind of want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then older relationships become a little bit more entangled into, I guess, more things that person is needing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like kind of needs and wants and expectations. So actually, juvenile love is quite good, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think in a broader sense, I think romantic relationships is very entangled with family.
Mm-hmm.
I think your upbringing, your family values, you will maybe in the beginning you might not think is very important, but as the relationship gets stronger and deeper, you start to realize that those values, you need to have these values aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or else if you have two people that just like each other and then their family values are completely different, run into problems later on, right? Mm-hmm. That's the way that I see it.
So do you think that for you, like in your romantic endeavors, that your family upbringing and your environment played like a role in how you go about it, or maybe what you look for in someone when you're dating?
I think, although we don't realize it, I think there's probably some of that, right? I think there's probably some of that, but it's kind of hard to tell because you don't really. I think most people don't really. There's no guy out there who's gonna be like, oh, I want to date someone that's like my mom. You know, probably, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, probably no one's thinking like that, but there's probably some little kind of characteristics that you probably are more attracted to. That's kind of like maybe close to your mother. Could be. It could be. Maybe I'm not saying everyone's the same, but it could be something like that, right?
But my question is, like, do you think that your parents or people in your family taught you in like in a sense, it's kind of like they taught you how to treat someone, is my question. It's like you get the way that you act towards the person that you like or you want to date, that's kind of stemming from what you saw growing up, or maybe advice that you were given by your dad, or
maybe
or
how
is it
not to act.
Yeah, or not how not to act. Or is it just something that you think you've built off of your own like experience?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's built, but then of course I still listen to advice. Of course, my dad doesn't give me any good advice about relationships. He is the worst advisor, so I decide not to listen to him. Yeah, but I mean, that being said, I think also you keep in consideration if you're introducing your parents to like someone that you're dating, right? You gotta be a little bit kind of like picky about it. You gotta be like, is this? Because I mean, of course, if you are dating someone, it's the first time you're introducing to your parents. You're kind of like, are they gonna get along, or are they going to? You're thinking on both sides.
Yeah.
Is she gonna get along with my parents? And my parents, are they gonna like her, right?
Yeah. What are
You're
they
always-
gonna talk about?
Yeah, I mean that's obvious. That's
Yeah.
that's something that's on your mind, right?
Yeah.
Why is that on your mind? Because you care about
Yeah,
you
the
know,
person.
Yeah,
And also your
and
parents.
also your parents.
Yeah.
Oh, I think not only in Taiwan, like in Chinese culture, actually the same. Romantic come first, but then like I feel like we still value family a lot. Like how our parents think about him or how people will get along with them or not. I mean him is because in my perspective him, right? In my own experience. What my parents is doing and also my grandparents are doing, they're just always telling me what kind of boys you can choose. They need to be like this. You're gonna make your dad as a real think
Role
of your
model?
dad. He is a role model of a good husband. So you're gonna find some people like this, or even telling me that your level should be dating with some other kinds of boys, or blah 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 blah, something like this. Anything. Also giving me a lot of like stories of what had happened in between our family members or like their friends. What have happened? Maybe people being divorced, so that you shouldn't be doing that. This kind of story popping out, you shouldn't be doing that as well all the time. And then also, I don't know whether you guys are like this or not. I don't think so. But what my mom do all the time is like she's like really sending me so many different kind. Also, my grandparents sending me some reels or like videos, Chinese videos, like saying that girls should be dating 3 kinds of men. Something like this. Okay, and also like. I think families and like Chinese families really value whether either you are a wifey material or not, or you are a really really good man, which carries a lot of stuff, like do a lot of things, something like that. That's the first thing that pops up in my mind all the time for now, like day after day when I'm dealing with my parents. For love and relationship, as I mentioned about divorce, I feel like in my culture, it's still a big thing that being divorced is not really a good thing. Although there is a lot of people saying that, being divorced is also like being free or something in a good perspective. But I feel like there's still like elderlies thinking that this is just not good.
Okay. Ben, what about you?
I think it's very similar to just another like family is definitely a big factor. Even when I like choose a girl, that if I want to like date seriously, I always think about how they would interact with like my family, my siblings, and see how that is, because in Palau we're very family oriented, and so it matters a lot because I spend a lot of time with my family in gatherings or just whenever. I'm always with them, and so it's very important that whoever is I'm dating or whoever in my family is dating has to be able to mesh with
Assimilate with your family.
Yeah. My mom used to tell me when I was a kid, like, if I don't like the girl, she's probably bad for you. And
She's right.
yeah.
You learn that mom always knows best. Yeah.
Mother knows best. Listen to your mother.
Yeah. But yeah, so very, very family.
So it's like family is priority.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, relationships is important, but family is like, that's what you're kind of always thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This mightn't even be a cultural thing. This might just be like a me in my family thing. But okay, I'll start with culture. I feel like just as James was saying, like I think it always starts at the romantic relationship takes priority, because it's like you're young, and I feel like when we're young we have so much emotions that we have no idea what to do with, that I feel like we lose a little bit of our logic, and so we kind of just jump into the whole very romantic boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you identify as. You get into relationships really quickly and really hard. Like you feel hard, and you know all of those emotions, you make use of them. But I feel like over time, when you start growing up and maybe you have a few more experiences, or you've heard of other people's experiences, I feel like you learn what you want and what you expect from a relationship. And I also feel like you have a bit more sense and a bit more logic as to, oh, like this person has to meet my family at some point. And I feel like in my culture, it is important what your family thinks of your partner. Family approval, or especially I should say maybe like the leader of your family's approval is very important in my culture, or at least in my family. Personally, I think that when it comes to love, like, I'm not a person that will immediately tell my mom about someone that I'm interested in. I feel like for me, it's something that you keep private until you're like really sure that, oh, this is something like really serious, and then you kind of like open up to your parents about it. At least that's to me what feels right. But culturally, yeah, like it's important who you get into a relationship with, because it's also important what your family thinks about that person. Because if it doesn't mesh well, as I said, like, the harmony is just all over it's just disrupted, and there's a lot of different attitudes toward that person, your family member, and also within the family there's like, oh, like this person blah 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 blah, blah, or this person blah blah blah, blah. Yeah, there's a lot of like that kind of thing that gossip is a good
Chinese
word.
Families love to gossip.
Yeah.
I think all families.
All families like to
Yeah.
all big families like to gossip. Trust me. What do you guys? I'm talking to the foreigners here. You've lived in Taiwan for a few years, so do you see anything that surprises you in like the way couples interact? Like, shock you? Maybe you're kind of like put off by it. Is there anything that you're kind of like, oh, or like, oh, when you observe like Taiwanese couples?
I mean, in Palau, I mean, it's such a small country, and we're still super conservative. So seeing like PDA,
I saw it today at the canteen. A guy, literally, he was with his girlfriend, and he was just like jiggling her butt. And I was like, what is going on? Continue.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with
Bro,
that.
like, they were standing, and he was just like, on the line.
yeah. No, first it was really surprising
That you had
for me, because PDA is like you barely see couples.
Wait, what
holding
is
hands.
the lowest level of PDA that you can't handle in Taiwan? Like the lowest one.
What do you mean? What is
What do you
the
mean the
lowest
lowest?
level of PDA?
Like jiggling butt. This is
Like,
a
he
higher
can?
one, or like
Or do you think that's, like, what do you think
the
is
least extreme.
the
Yeah,
least, like, the acceptable?
yes,
I would
yes.
think, like holding hands.
That's, like, the most
Yeah.
in public?
Yeah.
So kissing is a no.
No, it's
So holding hands is okay.
Is the
in Palau.
most
It's
that you
like,
could
okay.
accept.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess like interlocking arms. Or,
Mm-hmm.
That's the most.
So you can't kiss
Damn.
on the
If
street
this-
in
if-
Palau?
no. I mean, people don't even hold hands in Palau.
No.
Barely hold
You're
hands.
so disgusted with that face, like.
No, that's not what I meant. But it's just like, even like, we wouldn't hold, like, if I went to the store with like my girlfriend, we wouldn't hold hands.
You just walk
okay,
next
okay.
to each other like
Okay.
this.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have a like the lowest one, and then we one in most extreme case in America.
What do you mean? I'm okay with PD. I think
It's
I think
everything is
Any
okay.
kind of PDA.
Booty grabbing is okay.
it's their business. Why do you have to care about? No, but I mean, like from the personal side, yeah, it's okay.
But I think also, like, the majority, like, from the an American's perspective, I think PDA is just like, yeah, that's just normal.
It's just
Yeah.
what you're doing, like, right?
Like, Palau is so conservative. And so, like, I grew up, like, one way, learning that, like, this is not acceptable. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, seeing it very prominent here the first, like, people are, like, cuddling on the escalators.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on the person too. I think like if someone that can wants to express themselves through touch, there are people that are like
Yeah,
that,
there are
right?
people that, like, their love language is physical touch
like
and
they
so
like,
on.
like they have to hold the shoulder. I'm one of those. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay with PDA.
Grab the...
Like, I
It's
think
just that
fine.
back in Palau is
I
very
would never. If I
considerate.
went back to Palau, I would never.
Okay.
But like in Taiwan, sure it's fine. It's normal here, but I would never do that. in
But,
Palau.
like, no, but, like, you in Taiwan, like, do you, like, would you subscribe to, like, a handhold or like
Yeah, yeah.
kissing in public.
I mean,
But, I mean, like,
as
I don't
long as
think
you're not,
Taiwan is that
making
bad.
out,
No, I
mean,
don't think Taiwan is that bad either.
If you're not making out, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little waist
Waist
grab.
grab,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Ben is globalized, guys.
Yeah. But I would never do that in Palau. I would not go back home and do it.
Really?
Nope.
But I think that's because everyone kind of knows each other, so it's a little
Yeah.
bit. You don't know who's looking.
And then
Right.
people saw you doing that when we would go back
Rumors
home.
are. Be like, did you
Guys,
see? I saw
Ben."
Ben and that girl. Blah blah blah.
Saw Ben and James walking together
Yeah.
on the street.
The gas.
Yikes.
What about you, Jacinda?
Me seeing people doing that stuff.
Yeah,
or-
like in terms of like maybe because you've traveled outside of Taiwan, so compared to Taiwan's kind of maybe PDA or the dynamic between couples, when you've traveled, have you seen anything that surprised you, or it's kind of like, oh, this is the same
You mean like out of the other countries?
out of Taiwan, anywhere?
That surprised me. I feel like maybe in Europe or in America, you guys did more. So I feel like in Taiwan it's just like normal. What couples doing are just like the things that showing love to each other or anything.
So what she said is normal.
What I said.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think in Taiwan is normal. And
What-
okay, that one.
the
Yeah.
jiggling of the butt. That
It's
was
just-
crazy.
Maybe
That's
they just
normal?
wait. That maybe no. Maybe they just think that people didn't see.
No way.
Ah.
No way. The way they were interacting, it was very much like we're on the line to the buffet, guys.
The buffet.
Okay, I feel like it's very very different from like the couples how they think. If the couples are really that open or they feel comfortable in doing that, then they will do that. If the couples are just like very very quiet or they don't really want it to touch and like have any like physical touching in the public, then they will do that in Taiwan.
But you think like for the most part, it's just kind of in the middle. It's just
Yes.
like just holding hands, hugging,
I
waist.
think it's okay.
Yeah.
But because I feel like my parents is also kind of conservative, so
So you
especially
wouldn't.
my
You,
mom, they will still think sometimes they will just gossip
Like,
about
that's
those
too
things.
much.
you,
When
you,
we're-
you, you wouldn't want your boyfriend to be doing that in front of your parents.
Right.
Yeah, no.
No.
We'll just be friends. So you're sitting like,
Just sit here.
you know, yeah, there'll be like here, like a big
Yeah.
window or something.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Equin spoken
Glass
to.
And like
window.
glass window here, like no touching, yeah, something like that, no touching, yeah.
right.
And so sometimes my mom, when we go shopping or something, if they see, especially girls, like wearing like very
Something revealing.
revealing like big butt or like that. Okay,
Big
and
butt.
then
Big
they're
butt.
like with the guys holding hands like this, or like they're kissing and doing some romantic things, and my mom just says that don't do something like this. This is not okay. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still change. I think it's still different from the last generation or this generation. Yeah.
Well, for me, I think today was the peak of what I like experienced in terms of
Observe.
Taiwanese, like the PDA. I feel like living in Taiwan, I've just observed like if people are in a relationship, they're really like very attentive to each other, and even like my friends at school that are like a couple or something. Like, I noticed that it's not just the girl. Like, the guy knows everything about the girl. Like, everything about her. So, it's like, if she's looking for something, he already knows what she's looking for, and he's already, like, taking it out of the bag. Maybe that's not for all. But I just observed that in Taiwan, the couple situation is just it seems very, like, both of them are very devoted to each other. The PDA today was my peak, guys. Today was my peak. But I definitely don't think that that's the norm at all. I think that in Taiwan, couples are very touchy, especially the guys. And there was a time where I kind of was not upset, but it was kind of like, but isn't that a bit like rough let me explain. So when I lived in Taichung, because that's where I first moved to when I moved to Taiwan, I would notice the guys would always kind of like have their like, it's not grabbing, but they would always kind of hold on to the girl's shoulder, almost like pulling her closer, like always keeping her close. But to me, it looked like they were like kind of grabbing But I think over time I realized it's not really like they're grabbing, like kind of showing like ownership. It's more like to keep them close, to maybe keep them out of the way, or you know, not have them run into anything or something like that. So obviously like my thinking changed. But I think the PDA here, I didn't expect it. Like coming from like a Western country, I guess maybe I thought it would be a lot more conservative. But I think here it's very normal. Like the amount of PDA is very normal. And I remember, okay, moving on. So where you're from and also living in Taiwan, what do you guys think when it comes to like dating culture? Like, do you think that people meet organically or people prefer to meet organically, or do you think dating apps is where it's at?
And I also think about a question to everyone as well, the relationship, how people form into a real serious relationship or anything like in different cultures. So for your question first, you wanted to go first?
What was your question?
Yeah, like how do you think okay, so let's start with where you're from. So do you think in Palau that people meet organically, or it's something that there needs to be a medium like social media or a dating app to kind of jumpstart that connection?
Well, Palau doesn't really need a dating app. I mean, we don't have like, nobody uses Tinder in Palau unless you're like foreigner in Palau looking for another foreigner. Nobody's like going on. Usually how people would meet each other is definitely through social gatherings. Now more modernly, social media. But, you know, in Palau, usually we just, if like, for example, I like you, I would just text you like, hey, or I'll ask like, someone I know probably has your number or has your Instagram. So I'll just be like, yo, do you want to hang out sometime? Usually that's how it goes. Or like maybe we'll just start texting for a little bit and then like eventually we'll meet and then like I'll be like, oh, do you want to do this? And yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Okay. That kind of sounds similar to like the fact that you said like there's kind of like a middle person.
Yeah.
Like that kind of connects the two. It sounds a lot like Taiwan, but maybe you think differently. What do you think? Like, so in Palau, people meet organically, guys, for the most part.
We don't have dating.
Yeah.
So wait, a question. How long do you guys last?
The relationship?
No, I mean
What else?
to start a relationship. From meeting each other to a real relationship, how long does it last?
To official, being official.
Okay, I mean, it really depends on the couple. I mean, like, we could date for, like, maybe, like, a month.
Before being, like, officially boyfriend,
together.
girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but, like,
Kind of the same,
but I wouldn't say, like, we're, like, I mean, I would say in that month we'd be considered exclusive. But, like, we're not really, like, officially official.
Right.
Like, I'm not walking around telling people, like, oh,
this is my girlfriend.
this is my girlfriend. Yeah.
You're just, so you would
We're
just
like
say, like, we're dating.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess committed to an extent.
Right, okay.
Yeah, without the full attachment. And then, like, you eventually, like, just start dating, and then maybe after a while, and then when it becomes really serious is when you tell your parents, like, oh, this is who I'm dating.
But is it something where, like, both of you make it official to each other in terms of, like, is it something where you have to ask her, will you be my girlfriend? Or is it something that's kind of just, like, a natural transition that you don't really have to say anything?
No, you definitely have to, like, say, like, oh, like, so we've been hanging out for a while. Do you want to be my girlfriend?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, there's one thing pop up in my mind. I don't know whether it's just how I feel and whether it's right or wrong, but I feel like Taiwanese, we don't really have something like situationship, where like we won't do anything like couples before you really are in a relationship, something like that. You really think that, oh, you're boyfriends and girlfriends, then you will start doing like kisses, blah, 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 something like that. That's in Taiwan.
Wait, I'm confused.
Yes.
So you're saying that in Taiwan, you start as boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes. No. You start from knowing each other.
Oh.
Sorry. Knowing each other, and then probably you really like each other, and then you will ask the others whether you want it to be a boyfriend or girlfriend.
But that's just from knowing each other. So it's like you're texting and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you go to boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you're dating as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes, and doing the
okay.
things that boyfriends and girlfriend would do as a couple. In Chinese, we say 暧昧. Do you guys know 暧昧?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
How to translate it in English?
English, it's like
Love beautiful? What the
like you're in like no.
It's just
honeymoon phase.
No.
Oh.
It's like you're not. It's like you're not really like. It's kind of like the dating phase.
Yes.
Where like you're kind of like getting to know each other, but you guys aren't doing anything yet. Like you guys
yeah.
are just.
You're
still-
just like
Yeah, you're just talking. It's a
Yeah.
talking stage.
Yeah.
Yes, but the talking stage is more like to have pink bubbles. We say 粉红泡泡 pink
So
bubbles.
so the talking phase is not the dating phase.
No.
No, they're just. I think this is like the getting to know
This
each
is
other.
just talking. Maybe, like, is it something like you?
Yeah.
Maybe you go to cafe,
Yeah.
And
but
they
it's
mutually
Yeah.
know they
much.
like
Yeah,
each other.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. And
it's
then
basically
people know
friends
that.
to lovers, basically.
Yes, and then people know that they're 暧昧 in.
Ah.
They're in the stage of 暧昧. It's something like that. Yeah,
Ah.
and then they will go on to the next stage, and then they will do the couple things. That's how I observe and how my friends were doing. But I feel like there are still a lot of people that are more not really doing this. But
So
that's
after
the
the
culture.
暧昧is the 男朋友女朋友.
Yes.
I have a question though, because my Taiwanese friend said that in Taiwan, like let's say we start talking, and then this is for Taiwan people, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
they would date, they would start doing couple things, but they wouldn't say like
They're together.
they're together, and it would just transition into being a couple without having them say that they're exclusive.
That's something as well. I feel like, but really,
It's not the norm.
Like they don't express that they're dating, but it just happens.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend?
well, that's something as well. So yes, the same. There's people that are doing something like situationship first or anything, then to be a real couple, and there are still people that are doing the 暧昧 only, like no physical.
Just talking.
Yeah, just talking. Well, something like this, that it's okay, but not really kissing or anything more. Yeah, and then to
Dating.
real relationship. Okay.
James.
Yeah, I think that. Are we talking about dating apps?
We're talking about, like, is it more organic how people meet?
Okay, I didn't answer this question. In Taiwan, I think before that, organic, but right now there's a lot of people using dating apps, so it also works, but I didn't use it, so I don't really know how it works.
Swipe left and right.
Well, I do know how it works, but I don't really know whether it's... Well, people say that
This
some of
makes it
them are
last.
scams, so... Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like also in Taiwan, correct me if I'm wrong, like, it's also, rather than organic, I feel like it's who you know.
Like around you, right?
Yeah, it's like around you, and like maybe also you have mutuals with that person, and that's how maybe something starts. Because I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you don't just see someone on the street
Oh, no.
and then you get, it's kind of like, like, you see someone you like and your friend is like, oh, I know him. And then that's kind of how the connection starts.
You guys see somebody on the street and see like, well, that's my girl, so I wanted to go and talk to her. Something like that.
Like pick up a girl. Or like
Yeah.
Because you said that see somebody on the street.
Yeah,
so.
because when I say organic, I mean like, like maybe you're in a coffee shop and you see someone and like you go up to them, or maybe you're in a museum. It's like it happens organically. It's like you're just living your life and then you happen to meet someone.
I think it does not happen here, unless it's like an accident. When you bump into, it's just like, you know, in K dramas or Chinese drama, you bump into someone, you throw your like paper
So it's
on
kind
the
of like
ground.
you're
and
forced to interact with them.
Yeah, people picking you up, and then you have your eyes looking at his eyes, and
so there's no walking up to a girl like, hey,
No.
I think you're beautiful, we should go out for dinner
I've
sometime.
never seen that in... Well, actually, I've seen that, but it's like they say it, and then that's really all they came for. Just to say it, and then they're going.
oh, they're doing truth and dare. Okay, no. Because probably Taiwanese just think that, well, this is a weird guy. Well, that's how I feel if a guy comes up to me saying that as well. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm running out of time. And then, yeah. So.
What about you, James?
I don't know. I've never used a dating app. I find it to be very interesting that the world is going in that direction.
You know, left, right.
So then what do you think, like, like in Oregon, where you come from, it's very much like you meet someone, and if you interested in them, you walk up to them and you're like, hey, blah, 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 blah.
I think people are going through dating apps.
Oh, okay.
I think that's just the younger generation. My generation, we didn't have the dating app. So we're okay to go up to people and start a conversation. We don't find it to be strange at all. And then even if you're like out to dinner with friends and maybe there's someone that's attractive like in the next table, go talk to them. There's nothing strange about that, I think. Like there's nothing that I find. But in Taiwan, I think the people don't. I haven't found anyone to be that like awkward about it.
What, dating apps or
No,
like
no. If you just go
talk
up, go just talk to someone.
Maybe
I
this
almost
is.
got put into an arranged marriage.
I was almost placed into an arranged marriage.
Oh wow!
With who? A fruit farmer, son, or something?
Why?
A fruit farmer.
Son, yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Mangoes.
Should meet
Yeah.
my
Was it
son.
mangoes?
You should meet my son.
This,
Oh my
and this
God.
is everything about hospitality. I feel like Taiwanese are really just like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of love in a relationship, okay, I don't really feel like people would just walk up to me and then ask for anything. It's still kind of weird unless they're like mutual friends, like my mutual friends, and then will be. I won't consider that guy is weird or anything. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say quickly that we were talking about like, is it more an organic approach or are people more prone to use dating apps for like meeting people and getting into relationships? And in St. Lucia, it's definitely kind of the same as Taiwan, where it's kind of like your mutual friend group is kind of the gateway to meeing the person that you like. Like, for example, I remember being in high school and everybody had a crush on this like swimmer guy. And I was in like I feel like my friend group was mutuals with another friend group that was mutuals with his. So it was kind of like you had to kind of connect yourself somehow to be able to
get to that point.
And eventually I got to the point to like talking with this like swimmer guy. But
And?
by that time I didn't really
Like
I feel like I didn't really like him as much as I did in the beginning of the journey to getting to that point. But yeah, that's like, all of this is to say is that I feel like it's similar to Taiwan, where it's like, if you know someone that knows that person, it's much easier for you to have like a connection rather than if it's like a stranger that you're like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. But it's like, how do I, go about that? But still, kind of like what James was saying, there are people that are maybe not in our generation, but the generation above us. So James's generation, where
Taiwan, they definitely, I don't know about girls, but for guys, it's kind of like nonstop. Since I moved here, people want to introduce me to someone. And yeah, nonstop. Maybe because of my age. But like everyone.
I don't want you to feel lonely.
No. Everyone.
It's time to get married.
Everyone has someone. Every single auntie that I talk, I have a niece. Like someone
It's just like the guy. I have a son.
Everyone, it's like every dinner I go to, there's someone like, I can I don't need to. I don't need your introduction. It's
You're
fine.
like, no, thank you.
Yeah, but like it almost gets annoying.
I think but I think this is really something that happened in Taiwan. Like the elderlies would always wanted to tell you that there is somebody waiting for you, which you can't.
Yeah.
That there is somebody that I know.
The elderly are always trying to matchmake.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting to wind down. To connect to something James was saying, kind of like there's always someone wanting to introduce you because it's like maybe it's that time where people are wanting to settle down. What do you think that you, being half Japanese and half Chinese, and you guys will put your input, do you think there's like a cultural expectation for you to, around like the topic of marriage and family, for you to have? Like, do you think it's expected that you
Need to have
buckle
them.
down? And
No, I mean my mom likes the idea of me settling down and having a family, and for her to have lots of grandkids. And my younger brother is married and has kids, and I think that she's happy with that. Of course, that's what moms would want. Right? My dad just he more or less gives me the advice of just don't get married. Just have lots of girlfriends. Just have lots of girlfriends would be fine.
You'll be
So,
fine. Okay.
and I've always gotten that kind of advice from my dad, and his whole side of the family's like that. All the boys are like that, right? So it's
Don't do it.
It's not a good. That's not a good thing. But we come from a family with like lots of divorces, and all the boys have lots of girlfriends. So like it's just part of the culture, I think. Of the,
It's not
of-
good or bad. It's just something.
It's just the way,
Yeah.
and then like the sisters brag about it.
Yeah.
No.
Like, oh, like my son has so many girlfriends. I don't know who's who anymore. You know. Yeah.
What
so.
about you guys?
You want to go first?
For me, I don't think there's. I mean, my parents definitely don't want me to get married now or like have kids. But I think, I mean, for my mom, I think it's really like up to me. But I think in her heart of hearts, she wants to have grandkids. I mean, like she.
Where are my grandkids?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. My dad is just like.
Whatever.
Nah. Nah.
You want a wife, have a wife. You don't, whatever.
For me, I feel like my whole family have a really well. I am a only kid. Not only that, I'm also the eldest kid of the like my father's side and also my mother's side in the last generation. So I feel like they have a very, very high expectation on me. Anything. Also for picking boyfriend and also future husband. They're just giving so many different kinds of advices and anything. When my mom's talking, when my mom and my grandma was talking, that they're just giving me one piece of advice. One thing is that they tell me to just, wait. I don't know what they really want me to do, but they just want me to not really to put a full love or like my emotion in the relationship. They want me to like look for more guys and then to really observe everybody and then in the end pick one. They don't want me to like.
So they want you to take your time.
Take my time because they think that if really a girl put in too much emotions or too much thoughts inside a relationship, probably this relationship does not work and then they can't leave the guy or anything. This is what they think of. This is for one. And I feel like a lot of like Taiwanese, for other families, the other ladies really wanted to have grandkids. This is the first one. But there is also a lot of like women that don't want to get married. Or there are also couples that they are just couples and they don't want to get married. Or they are married couples, double income, but they don't want to have kids. So there are so many different kinds of like
Dynamic.
Yeah, in this culture right now. Although initially Taiwan or like traditional Chinese culture, we all have a lot of kids, and then family is very important as well. But right now it's just like
whatever you want to do.
Well, I don't think that the parents would really want their kids to be like that, but the kids, like our generation or the generation that is now maybe like the 30s, they have they have their own thoughts already, They're being educated that they can do whatever they want. Not really whatever they want, but
they can choose their own path.
Yeah, something like that. And there are even a lot of elderly telling that maybe it's better to not get married because there are a lot of people saying that, oh yeah, get married. The guys treat you good before being married, and then being married, the guys treat you not good. Something like that. So,
Well, for me, actually, I've never spoken to either of my parents about marriage. Like, we just don't talk about that stuff. Like we don't talk about it at all whatsoever.
Good.
Like, growing up, I was just like I wasn't raised to think that like a relationship was important, if that makes sense. So like I never even had I had like crushes on people and stuff like that, but I just didn't, a relationship wasn't something that was a priority, if that makes sense. And like I said, like I never like had those kind of conversations with my mom or my dad. But now it's interesting because like when I'm on the phone with my mom will be like, I just spoke to this person and this person, and they're asking me about, oh, does Aiyanna have a boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, why is that what you guys are asking about? You're not asking how she's doing in school. Is she you're asking if she has a boyfriend? So like my mom gets like really kind of ticked off. And then I went, one of our classmates, Olivia, when she was here before she left, we went to this dress shop And so I tried on this dress, and I took like a picture and like a video of it, and I sent it to my grandma. Tell me why my grandma told my mom, no, she told me, she sent a voice note. That was the first time I had ever experienced a voice note from my grandma. And she was like, are you getting married? Are you getting married? You look so beautiful. Are you getting married? Who is he? I want to see a picture.
Is it a praise or is like a sarcastic?
No. She's being serious. She thought that I was engaged. Didn't tell her.
Oh.
And that I was getting married to someone.
Mm.
As for me, like, I don't have any expectations from my parents to get married. I can get married if I want, stay single if I want. It's really up to me. Like, I have the freedom. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very simple. So I think will be a perfect time to end the pod. Thank you guys for keeping up with our past episodes. This is our last episode of this season, so stay tuned for what the TaiPhoon podcast has in store next. Thank you guys. Bye. Like and subscribe, please.
I would like to
Beautiful,
thank our
beautiful.
sponsors for today.